All right, we're gonna go over how to make a mosaic piece of art on Google Draw. Google Draw is probably something that you might have used before and thought that it didn't do a whole lot for you, or maybe you haven't used it at all, but I'm gonna show you some kind of cool things that we can do with it to make some really interesting pieces of art. So we're gonna focus on mosaic art, and mosaic art is going back to ancient Rome, and they would take small pieces of clay or ceramic or glass and put it all together to make an image. So you need to first go to Google Draw. So if you don't know how to get there, you need to go to your Google Drive first. From your Google Drive, you're going to go to New, and all the way down to the bottom where it says More. And when you hover over that, it gives you this new little window. You're going to click Google Drawings. Load. So the first thing that we're going to do for this is just like when we use Pixlr, you have this blank background, that little grid that you see, which tells you that there's nothing there. So we're going to start by adding a background, and it can be any color you want. I suggest darker if your image is lighter, and then I suggest a lighter background if your image is going to be darker. Makes sense. So to make your background, you're going to go up here where you have like a circle and a square on top of each other, and it says shape when you hover over that. Click on that and shapes, and I'm going to do the very first one, which is this rectangle, because it's a rectangle piece of art. So click the rectangle, and then it's going to give you this big plus sign. So you're going to click and drag from the top corner to the bottom corner. Now, the default thing for Google Draw to do is to make a light blue shape. I don't love the light blue. If you love the light blue, you can use it as much as you want. I'm not a fan, so I'm gonna change it to black. So to change it, you're gonna go to this paint bucket tool, which looks like a square on its side with a half line going through it. Click on that, it's fill color. And I'm gonna fill it with black. Okay, so there's your background, done. Now we're going to add in our image. There's a few ways that you can add an image. If you go to Insert Image, you can upload a picture you've saved on your computer, something you have saved in your drive, or you can search the web right from here, which is great. So if I wanted to search the web, I'm going to go to pumpkin photo. I just randomly picked a pumpkin. I will find one that I like. There's lots to choose from. It pretty much does Google right inside of the drive, which is cool. I think I like, let's see. There was one up top I liked, but let's go with this one right here. There's technically two in there, but I'm just gonna focus on this yellow one right here, and you can make your picture bigger by going to those little dots in the corners, clicking and dragging to making it larger, and I'm going to focus on this. So what you need to do is go up in the top bar here and find the one that's just a diagonal line, and when you hover over it, it just says line. You're going to hit the arrow next to it, and what you want is polyline. What that's going to do is it's going to have you create a shape in any fashion you want, a shape that is just kind of made up, and what this does is just guide you through it with some straight lines. So polyline, that's what you want, and that's what we're going to use for all of it. Click. So now it gives me that plus sign again, and what I want you to do is look at your image, and you are going to start to block it out by color. So I've got a lot of like light yellows up here, so I'm going to click, and you can see it's creating a line. I'm going to click around for this section of yellow. And then, like I said, it automatically fills it in with that light blue. So you'll have to go up here to fill color and change it to a color you think matches pretty good. You can either click one of the ones that are just here for you to choose from, or if you want to get more specific, you can go to custom and really customize that color and make it more of what you want. Now, the other thing that Google Draw automatically does when you create a polyline is it does that black outline. If your background is black, you can leave it because it'll disappear. When you take away your picture, you'll see what I mean. Because when you have a black outline on a black background, you won't see the outline. But if your background is something other than black, you're gonna wanna go in and get rid of that line that goes around the edge because you don't want them to all be outlined. And all you have to do for that is next to your paint bucket tool, there's this little pencil one. You click on that and you just hit transparent and that makes that go away. But you'll have to do that for every shape that you make. So that's why I kind of recommend doing a black background if you can, unless your image is going to be very, very dark. That way you don't have to worry about that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all these different yellow sections and block them off. And what's nice is it starts to memorize what color you were just using and fill it in automatically. So it's not always going to do that blue color, which is nice. So you don't have to keep redoing it over and over. So I'm just going to click through. So you're just following the colors a little bit. Now I'm going to do these little stripe sections. What's important is when you are doing your mosaic, don't have your two shapes that you're creating, your two color shapes touching. You want a little bit of space between them so you can see that black background coming through. And I know that you can't see the black background yet because our image is still there, but we're going to remove it when we're ready. And you'll see. So see, that one's touching a little bit. It is what it is, but try to avoid it if you can. It's more of an orangey color that I want. How's that one? A little bit darker, I think. There we go, that's better. So now I'm gonna do these little stripes. Oops. You'll find that if you double click, it automatically closes your shape. And if that happens, no stress. Just make a new shape. I want to darken this color a little bit. So I'm going to continue clicking through this and making my shapes. I'll speed up the video a little bit and then I'll tell you your next steps. Okay, so now that I've been working on this for a little bit, just adding those random shapes, none of them too close together, as best as I can, and now I can start to see what it's going to look like when I take away the picture. So to take away the picture, just to see how it looks, you're going to go to this little arrow for select, click on the picture, then you're going to go up to the top where it says arrange. We don't want to get rid of our photo completely because we might not be done with it, and if you delete it, you're going to be bummed. So you're going to go arrange, and what we're going to tell it to do is the order of the picture, we're going to send it backwards because that's going to put it behind the black background that we made. So I'm just going to click send it backward. And now you can see your mosaic. So I might look at that and think that that's good. I might look at that and say, I want to add some more shapes in. And you'll do that on yours and see if you think it's ready to go or if you want to add a few more shapes. If you want to add a few more shapes, you just go back up to arrange, order, and you're going to bring it forward. Don't bring it all the way to the front, because if you bring it front, you're going to go in front of all the work you just did. So just to bring it forward, because it's just going to do one layer forward so you can see it again. When you're completely done with your image, you can send it to the back and then rename it Mosaic. And then you can file, share, and share it with me. E. Warren, okay? I really want to see how these come out no matter what you choose. You can choose to do a person. A person is going to be a lot trickier than something that is not alive. So you could do food, you can do an object, you can do a sports logo, you could do an animal. The sky's the limit on what you can do. The more colors there are in the thing that you're doing, the more challenging it's going to be. The fewer colors, the less challenging. But go ahead and challenge yourself and see what you can come up with, and I can't wait to see them.